Hello readers and writers, I'm MJ, and this is a fantasy reading vlog. So I actually recorded an entirely different intro to this blog, but for some reason the first couple of clips have no sound on them whatsoever. So you get half the blog, but I'm recording this after the fact. So in this blog, I am reading the two fantasy books that I'm anticipating released in June that I was approved for on NetGalley, How to Be Remembered and The Combat Code. And so now you can see my first update on How to Be Remembered that actually has audio. It is now Friday afternoon. I just got off work. I have not picked up How to Be Remembered yet since Wednesday. I didn't get a chance to read it after I live streamed yesterday because I didn't get done live streaming until close to 10 and I was tired. So I'm going to lay down and kind of relax from work and get it finished. Now I have finished a different book in that time, Our Lady of Mysterious Ailments. I finished it via audiobook today, so I am still reading, just not this arc, but that's okay because I'm going to get that done now.
It is 2-0 Twins here at Target Field, bottom of third inning, and Byron Smiley curve.
Friday Night Baseball. I just finished How to Be Remembered, and I really want to love this book, and there's aspects of it that I do enjoy. I mean, the writing's pretty good, and it's cutesy. So if you're in the mood for cutesy fantasy-ish book, then that's great. I mean, the idea had so much promise to it. It's just they should have stopped the minor change in POVs, and then there's no conflict in the book at all, none, and it was a book that should have been full of conflict, and none. And I did suspect that it was going to end up with a happily ever after, and a nice package with a bow wrapped all around everything. It's not a bad book, but it was not what I was hoping for from the book. It was just a little too coincidental. And then, again, if you're going to have a book about someone not being remembered every year, I mean, that's a massive amount of conflict that should happen till there's a resolution. And answers. I hate this mystical fantasy thing that you never get to, like, ever figure out why it's happening. And then there's this one aspect at the end that makes no sense. Because it's just too convenient, but if you look at it from the other perspective, about the fact that Tommy Llewellyn was abandoned when he was 1 year old because his parents forgot him, which is in the summary, so not spoilers. The conclusion at the end doesn't make sense to me. So, really want to love it. It's not like a bad book, it just left me disappointed. So the last book that I have to read in this blog is The Combat Codes, and it releases in June 13th, so actually before How to Be Remembered. And alright, so this is the book that seems to be a little bit more materialistic, this is a book that seems to be more about fighting. It's about, someone's going to be trained to be a knight in order to kind of become the hero of their kingdom. and it had a really good premise. I'm a little concerned that it's a little more violent and like that toxic masculinity than I enjoy, but I'm hopeful that I really enjoy it. So I did get an arc of this from NetGalley, so I am going to start reading that and I will update you. So I made it 20% into the combat code and I have decided to DNF it. I was very concerned about it being, you know, a toxic male kind of fantasy book, and it's not toxic exactly, or at least not yet. I do think it potentially could get there, but at 20% of the way in, I've just now hit the first non-male character anywhere in the book. Up until this point, it has exclusively been male characters, and I mean side characters, everything. The most that this world even has like female beings in it is when they're like telling the boys not to cry because they don't have mommies, or the guard sneaking off to go visit you know the house of whatever, how they put it. So it's not great. And then now we've hit where one of the warriors are going to go train, and one of the retired warriors that he's going to go train with, or asked to train with, has a wife. And the wife was like, oh, you don't have like a girlfriend or whatever. And she was like, oh, there was a time that women just wouldn't keep their skirts down for you. And that's why I decided to call it quits. There's nothing really about this book that's calling to me. It's definitely all fighting, which, I mean, I love martial arts, so it's not like I have anything specifically against that. That's what I was kind of hoping for. But it's just like, it's kind of just toxic fighting, grunge matches. I mean, there is a little bit of found family in these boys, but that's gonna probably end, and it's still very toxic to read about. I'm just not connecting with the book, and it's a very long book, and I've decided that it's just not for me. I definitely like books with a little bit more diversity in them instead of just going back to this all-male fantasy. So I am, and there's even very little fantasy in it. It's just fighting. So I am going to DNF it. And so this is the conclusion then for my Fantasy June release blog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hopefully when I do July's books I'll be a little less disappointed, but it is what it is. Keep writing, keep reading, and until next time.